Why are Muslims even asking the question?
That's true, yeah. Why are they asking?
Well, because they shouldn't be, because the Quran is very clear that God can have a son. Did you know that?
No.
In Surah 39, Ayah 4. In Surah 39, it says it very clearly.
How's that? It's a contradiction.
It seems like a contradiction, and this really is a kicker, because what this is implying a biological son.
Aware of this?
They're not even aware of this verse, because your Quran is very clear that Allah can have a son. And it says, I'll read it, had Allah willed to take a son, He could have chosen whom He willed out of those whom He created, but glorified is He is Allah, the one, the irresistible. So the Quran already admits that Allah can have a son anytime He wants.
Wow, it's like a hypothetical. If He wanted to, He could.
He could.
He could if He
the
wanted to.
possibility exists in the Quran, so why are they even asking the question?
Why limit Him?
God can create a son.
That's amazing.
God can create a son.
That is a really strong point.
How can God create a son? I'd like to know. And I'd like to know Muslims, how are they going to answer that verse? I have never in 29 years heard Muslim that can answer that verse. I have never in 29 years heard Muslim that can answer that verse. I have never in 29 years heard Muslim that can answer that verse.
Intellect. Of course. Now, can God make a square circle if He wants to?
If God wants to, yes, certainly He could. He could also make a man. He could also make a human. He could also come down in the form of a man. That's perfectly legitimate, isn't it? If God will to.
So God
your
can
Quran
do.
admits that.
Are you saying?
Even your Quran admits that.
Excuse me.
Surah 39:4.
What does it say? What does it say?
If God so had willed it, He could have made a son. If God so will, He could have had a son. So the possibility exists.
Excuse me.
The possibility exists, does it not?
Shall I correct you, Mr. Smith?
Shall we read it again?
With a bogus PhD?
Don't have a PhD. Who said I did?
Master. Okay, with a bogus master. What is the word used, have a son? What's the Arabic word used?
I don't know the word off the top of my head. Why is that important?
Because the Arabic word will tell you what this means. It's takhada.
If God had willed it,
excuse me, that He would have ittakhada a son.
He could have had his son.
Now, what does ittakhada yattakhidhu mean?
The possibility does exist.
No, what does it mean? What does it mean?
I don't know.
It's like, I take him as my son. This is ittakhada, adoption, taking someone. It doesn't mean I literally beget. That is why you people, you need to learn how
Can you understand that's exactly what the Bible says too?
Excuse me, don't jump.
Any
Don't
Christian
jump.
believe
First
that
of
the
all,
Son of God was biologically from the God
excuse me,
seed?
you stop there.
Are there anybody
We
in
were
this crowd that
discussing
believes?
an issue.
No,
Can
this
God
is the issue what we're
make
talking
a
about.
square circle? You said yes, and he said even in your Quran, God says if God wills,
He could have had a son.
So
Is there a biological
excuse me,
son? No.
Excuse me,
Is it
I
an inheritance?
corrected you.
Yes.
I
And
corrected
that is
you.
exactly what we're
in
saying.
This is implying a biological son. This is implying a biological son. This is implying a biological son.
You are mistaken in what it means.
Mansur,
Secondly,
as Christians,
God
do we believe that God
does
biologically
not
had a
do
son?
God, let's come back to the topic we're discussing. Don't jump.
So if God had willed to, He could have done that, could He not? The possibility
Excuse
exists.
me. If God wills, can He cease to exist? I'm asking you.
If God will, could He cease to exist? No. There are certain
Why
things
not?
He could not.
So you use your brain now.
Another point I would like to mention is the fact that the Quran verse J. Smith the liar quoted disproves his entire claim. If we look at the Arabic, it says,
لو.
I want to show you this clip for you to understand what this Arabic conjunction means.
There are two words that we use very often to express the conditional possibilities. We can use the word إذا, or we can use the word لو. إذا and لو differ in that إذا is used to express conditions that might be fulfilled, and لو is used to express conditional idea that is contrary to fact, right? Conditions that are impossible or that just aren't going to be fulfilled. Love is a good conditional for love songs, right? If you were my sweetheart, if I had only known, that kind of impossibility, impossibility, impossibility.
As the teacher of Arabic explained, the use of this conjunction is when speaking about a hypothetical situation that is not possible and contrary to fact. So Allah is saying in this verse it is impossible for him to have a son, but if he did, he would have chosen from his creation. But what does that mean? As Ibn Kathir explains, the matter would not have been as they claim. This is a conditional sentence which does not imply that this happened or that it is permitted. Indeed, it is impossible. The aim is only to point out the ignorance of their claims. So here Allah is not saying it's possible for him to have a son, he is saying it is impossible for him, and also if he were to have a son, he would have chosen someone from his creation. Meaning if he had a son he wouldn't have a son in the way the Christians claim. They claim Jesus is uncreated and eternal. Here Allah is refuting them and saying if he were to have a son his son would be created and not another God with him.
But what he's missing is that the Quran is rejecting many different ways of speaking of Jesus as the Son of God. The Quran is saying God does not have a son, like the ways in which people have thought that God would have a wife and have a son through that wife. God does not even adopt a son. Ittakhadha is the Arabic word which means adoption. Lam yattakhidh waladan, he does not adopt a son. And it even says, Lam yakun lahu walad, he does not have a son, simply put. So from the Quranic perspective, God has no son.
وقل الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا وقل الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا وقل جاء الحق وزهق الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا